I'm currently a little bit sick in midterms and moving this week. So to make it easier on myself, I thought we could do a video where I'm just kind of talking. We can have a conversation. I also haven't done one of these in a while, so it feels nice to mix it up a little bit. And I know I'm a little bit behind the trend here on this one, but I wanted to talk about YouTube's restricted mode and a lot of the controversy that's been going on surrounding that and LGBTQ YouTubers, because I am one of those. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube's restricted mode is something they've had for a while, but essentially what it does is it filters through content and blocks anything that might be explicit or unsuitable for kids. YouTube already has a kids app, which is meant for little kids. Restricted mode is more something that could be used in schools or libraries, or maybe by parents who want to monitor what their kind of younger teens are doing. Now, restricted mode has been around for a while, since I think about 2010. However, there's no way for YouTube creators to check and see if their content is restricted unless they actually turn restricted mode on and go look at their own channel and see if anything's missing. There's no little icon or indicator saying, hey, just so you know, this video is not available in restricted mode. Because of that, it wasn't until the last couple months that some YouTubers have been realizing that their videos, which didn't really contain any explicit content, were missing. In particular, queer YouTubers. There were some wedding videos about people coming out to parents or grandparents, general education videos that had a lot to do with gender and sexuality, but nothing, again, explicit, nothing like sexual. So of course this sparked a ton of controversy. I mean, a lot of people were concerned that YouTube was purposely targeting LGBTQ creators. If they weren't, their system was faulty and it needed to be fixed. As per usual, YouTube was pretty awful about communicating, put out a very general statement apologizing and saying they'd look into the issue. As of now, a large number of the videos that were previously blocked on restricted mode no longer are, but there's also a large number of videos that are still unavailable. Now, personally, I wasn't surprised in YouTube's failure to address this problem. While YouTube has generally been as good of an ally as a company can be towards LGBTQ YouTubers, creators, people in general, they're really bad at communicating with their community. They're also filtering through a massive amount of media every single day, going through these really advanced algorithms, and it can be really hard to monitor what's what at any given time. So while I know a lot of people have been really angry at YouTube themselves, I'm gonna try to steer the conversation in an area that I think is a little bit more interesting. As I just said, YouTube works off of algorithms. But I don't think we think often enough what that means and the kind of problems that can arise when you're using algorithms and robots to sort media like this, particularly when censorship is involved. YouTube's system to organize its content is not public. We can't look at the code and decipher what it means or what might be wrong with it, and even if we could, honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't understand that stuff. But I do know the very basics. YouTube's algorithm is really a brain of itself at this point that is taken in tons and tons of information over time. This is ranging from titles to descriptions to tags to the way we interact with content to what's the most controversial to what kinds of people watch what kinds of videos. By dissecting that data over time, YouTube's system is able to decide who should be able to look at what and who wants to look at what. This is used all the time for advertisers in deciding what ad matches best with what video. It's also used to personalize your experience, not just your watch history and your interaction history and what you like and dislike, but also that same information from everybody else on YouTube is gathered and collected to give you recommended videos or subscriptions or suggest other kind of content to you. Now, in a lot of ways, that works really well. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sat on my laptop and just been able to keep clicking recommended videos because they all look super interesting to me and what I like to see. The problem is when censorship is involved and blocking videos and deciding who gets to see what. And I think the flaw in this system says a lot less about a problem with YouTube and a lot more about a problem with us. I mean, as I was just saying, YouTube is dissecting information from real people and using that to decide who gets to see what. As queer people, our art, our content, and our lives are constantly and inherently politicized. We don't get a choice. As innocent and adorable as a gay wedding video or a coming out video might be, it's going to get dislikes and it's going to get flags by people who don't think it's okay to be queer. So YouTube's creative brain, which again mirrors the people who are watching YouTube, is going to take that information and say, hey, there must be something explicit or not okay about this content. It uses that to add anything with the word gay or lesbian, trans, queer, LGBTQ, you name it, and add it into this big bin of stuff that's explicit or potentially explicit. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think YouTube needs to work very, very hard at fixing this. There really is a question to the morality of censoring content through machines and algorithms and bots because of the oversight with these kinds of issues. Because we have to think about who's being affected by this. Libraries, schools, and teens with very, very watchful parents. And it's the last one in particular that concerns me. Because say you have a young gay, trans, non-binary, asexual, you name it, a young queer kid who's looking to understand themselves and see other people like them. Well, they're not going to find it in mass media, I'll tell you that much. It's just not there. It's not available. So where do they turn? They turn to YouTube. And let's say this kid has watchful parents who put them under restricted mode and monitor what they're able to see. What happens when they type that into YouTube and nothing shows up? That has to be so incredibly disheartening and isolating and scary. I mean, even just in my personal experience, YouTube is what helped me realize that I'm trans. I wouldn't be here where I am today without it. If I hadn't one day stumbled across a video of a trans guy coming out because it was blocked on my computer, I wouldn't be where I am. We need to start looking very seriously at the way our world views LGBTQ lives, stories, characters, people as unsuitable for children. Because if you have a kid who's questioning their identity, those kinds of videos are exactly what they need to be seeing.